see, I'm out by my happy place, my tiki hut, and I debated on whether I was going to do this video or not, but I decided as a PSA, I thought I would. So this is for those of you who are kind of at the same place I am as far as your age, and you're starting to look at the different changes in your face, of course, the wrinkles and all of that. But for me, I have had a lot of these, I call them barnacles, but they're keratosis, I think. I've had a lot of those throughout my last 20 years, I would say. Ever since my bout with cancer, it seems like my immune system was shifted in some way. So I didn't pay a lot of attention, but I did get a spot on my face about, I'll say a year and a half ago. And it bothered me, but I was able to cover it up with makeup or cover up. So over the past year, I have not been able to cover it up. And also over the past year, friends of mine that have not seen me in a while have said, "What's on your face?" Of course, making it even more clear to me that this is annoying at the very least. So I decided, well, if I can't get any cream to make it disappear, and I'd already tried some things, I ordered some things online, I tried over the counter, nothing was helping it. So I thought, well, I'll go see the dermatologist, and at best, maybe they can give me the cream that I need. So when I saw the dermatologist about a month ago, she said, "Oh, I don't really like the way that looks. I'd like to do a biopsy." And so she did a biopsy right there and then, and they scrape the top layer off and they send it out for an assessment. And about 2 days later, I got a call from her directly, and she said, "It's a melanoma." So that's the bad news. I guess the good news is they can do something about it, meaning they will remove it. And I just thought I would share this because I have yet to have the surgery, and I will have plastic surgery afterwards to hopefully help it. By the way, my mother had this exact same situation, a melanoma on her left cheek, when she was about my age. She was maybe 60. And it left a big jagged scar across her face. And I know that my mom was bothered by that because she always did her hair, she always did her makeup, she was always looking, pulled together. And now she has this big pirate scar across her face. So it was a concern of mine. So when I met with the oncologist surgeon, he said, well, the bad news is it's a melanoma, because there are several different kinds of skin cancers, and that's the worst. So that is the bad news. But he said the good news is at 0.8, and I'm going to check my numbers and I'll put that on the screen for you. I'm pretty sure he said it was 0.8, not 0.08, which means depth. They have to do a lymph node assessment. And I've had that before when I had breast cancer, and I don't like that. But he said the good news is you're at 0.3, so we do not have to do that. We will just go in and we will dig it out. We'll make sure we get all of the margins. And then, of course, I mentioned to him that I would like to have a plastic surgeon stitch me up. And he said, okay, no problem. So I guess I'm letting you know the details of this, because if in fact you find yourself in this situation, don't be afraid to ask for that. I'm going to go ahead and post this, and then I'm going to add to it as I have the actual surgery, and I'll let you see. One thing, I'll kind of give you a heads up. He said they do not seal it after they remove the cancer. They leave it open. And I said, they leave it open? And he said, yes. And I said, why is that? And he said, because if the pathology report comes back that we have to take more out, we can do what we need to do, and it's not a matter of reopening something that's been sealed up. So don't call me to go to the theater during those 2 weeks. Well, probably not for the next 2 weeks after that either, because then it has to heal. And I remember from my bout with breast cancer that you have to be very serious about the healing, because you don't want to have massive scars, especially on my face. So anyway, I am putting this out there because I know at our age there's different spots and things that show up on our face that we're thinking, was that there before? So stay tuned. I'll give you an update, and I'm just going to get real close so you can see. This is after they scraped it. This is after they scraped it, and there's actually a little spot there that's still kind of dark, And that's what it looked like before. It was dark and black, and when I looked it up on the internet, I saw that they're very distinct. They're jagged edges, they're mottled in color. There was no surface texture to it, but it was just ugly, and I didn't like it. So I guess, maybe my vanity saved me. All right, stay tuned, and I'll let you know. Well, it's only been a few hours. Let me take these off so there's not a glare. I go back in tomorrow morning. I just wanted to give you so there's an open wound underneath, and they pack it with this, and then they protect it with all of this. So if you wind up having to do this type of surgery to remove your melanoma, don't expect to be going out to dinner or lunch right after. There's no pain, but they did put a lot of pain medicine on it. I have a little bit of a headache, and that's from the anesthesia, but my skin is very sensitive. So he said, well, then we're going to put you out for this. And I don't know how long the actual procedure was. As I mentioned, I'm going in tomorrow, and they're going to repack everything and look at it and make sure that it looks good. And I won't hear back from the pathology report until probably sometime next week or the beginning of the next. They said a week to 10 days. And then I'll be going back for the plastic surgery. If you see something on your skin and you think, I don't like this, have it checked. Oh, that's who's walking. All right. I'll let you know how it goes after the appointment tomorrow. Well, I am back for the removal of this. I actually did sleep, though. I kind of propped myself up so I wouldn't roll. I woke up with a headache, and I think that's the anesthesia. And then I also have a really sore throat, and that's from them putting the tube down my throat. They couldn't use the mask. I went back and read the anesthesiologist's report, and they don't use the mask because of the surgery taking place on my face. It would be in the way. So they just gave me the full knockout treatment. Probably this is the worst right now, is this bruise. This was excruciating. I felt like I was having an ice pick shoved into my hand. And I'm going to try to take a picture when I'm in there just with my regular phone so you can see what the actual spot looks like after they removed it. Remember I don't know if you remember seeing the size of it, or if you noted, I did show you, but it was maybe the size of a nickel, maybe between a dime and a nickel. So it'll be interesting to see the size that they actually remove, because they're trying to get the margins, and that means taking more tissue. So you'll see. I'll post a picture of it. All right. I'm going in the rain. Okay, so I'm back, and I have an update. Today I saw the plastic surgeon, and I don't think I did a video after I got back from my follow-up appointment with my actual surgeon, but he was in on the plastic surgery appointment today as well, because the pathology report came back. The pathology report showed that all of the malignant tumor, cancer, melanoma was removed, and basically this is the size of the hole in my face. It's pretty frightening, especially when it's in your own face. The doctor that did the surgery to remove it did say, although the actual melanoma was removed, there was still some edge piece right here where they did not take, and he said that's considered in situ and it's not growing, but he said we would have to keep a careful eye on it, and since you're going in for the surgery, for plastic surgery anyway, let's just remove it. So I got the go-ahead to have the plastic surgery. The problem is the nurses are on strike right now, so none of the ORs are operating on a normal schedule. That being said, my fabulous plastic surgeon said, who wants to walk around with a hole in their face? I said, not me. So he said, I'm going to be on it, and if I have to do it over the weekend, we're going to get you in. So he said, be ready. I'm thinking within the next week. If I called you tomorrow and said, are you ready? Would you be? And I said, yes. So I'm going to be. And I had blocked out the whole month of February anyway, not knowing when and how long everything was going to take. So that's all the good news. The interesting part of this appointment was that there are 3 ways that they follow up when they take out a melanoma. He said one is that you just let it heal over. And so he said that would not be my first choice for you because it is so large and it's on your face. Second thing that they do is they do grafting. He said, again, not my first choice for you because it's never going to match. He said, even if we took skin from your neck, it's never going to be the same. It's never going to match. And so third choice is they actually cut and create a flap and then pull that flap up to cover the wound and stitch it shut. So he said, I'm going to have a scar that goes down and then another scar that goes across, sort of like a botched facelift is what I'm thinking as he's talking. And he said, trust me, it will heal and you won't be able to see. He said they'll be very faint. I did say, am I going to look like I had maybe a stroke or Bell's palsy or something? Because no work is being done on this side. Because I'm thinking, maybe I need a little tuck on this side, right? And he said, no, you're going to be fine. I was like, so he said, it's not going to happen right away. The skin's going to be very tight and there's going to be a noticeable difference. But he said, after time, it will relax and they'll look pretty much the same. I said, have you ever had any patients that later on they came back and said, hey, this is all, like slouchy? And he said, no, I haven't had that. I said, okay, guess I'm not getting a bona fide facelift out of the deal. So I just wanted to fill you in because this is sort of part 2 of the whole thing. And going back and forth to the nurse's station to have them change the bandages is what I've been doing because I tried it once and that wasn't going to happen again. He said something about, how much do you exercise? And I told him I go to the gym 6 days a week and I'm running on the treadmill and I do weightlifting and all of that. And he said, okay, your skin is in good shape. You're in good shape. You're not a smoker. You're not a drinker. I didn't tell him I had a tiki bar. Not that I'm drinking it a lot, but, might give the wrong impression, right? So he said, you're going to heal nicely. All right, to be continued. All right, I'll let you know. Okay, this is me trying to change my bandages for the first time because they were leaking down the side of my face. And this is maybe a little more than I can do because it's sticking and I've sprayed it with saline and it's pulling, so I don't know whether to pull it off or this is not good.